The human body has exactly 0 calorie receptors. That is the shocking biological blind spot explaining exactly why counting calories completely fails to stop your hunger.
0! Your body literally does not measure calories, and frankly, it doesn't even care about them. This is exactly why you can easily consume thousands of empty calories and still feel completely, totally starved. So while your body is starving for real nutrition, go ahead and feed that like button, subscribe, and drop a comment right now because we are about to instantly hack your body's true hunger signals. Let's jump right in with a concept we can call the Big Mac paradox. Imagine eating 3 massive fast food meals in a single day. You're flooding your system with over 3,300 calories. But because of all the processed sugar, refined grains, and seed oils, you're only yielding about 75 grams of highly diluted protein. Your body is quite literally drowning in energy, but entirely starved of the concentrated protein it actually demands to function.
And you know what? That 75 grams is a massive red flag. 70 to 100 grams of protein is just your obligatory daily loss. You lose this exact amount of protein every single day just by existing. Literally, just through shedding skin cells, losing hair, and passing urine. It's barely enough for baseline maintenance, let alone enough to actually turn off your hunger.
Because survival comes first. We're talking hormone production, immune cell creation, and tissue repair. We actually use 300 to 400 grams of protein daily internally just to handle those basics, recycling most of it in the process. Until these critical baseline survival functions get the fresh dietary protein they desperately need, your body will absolutely refuse to signal your brain that you're full.
So what is the crucial mechanism forcing your brain to register fullness? Let's look at Section 1, triggering the mTOR pathway.
So, mTOR stands for the mammalian target of rapamycin. It's basically your body's primary trigger for building muscle and repairing tissue. Think of it like a highly sensitive biological switch. To flip that switch, your body specifically looks for an amino acid called leucine. You need about 2.5 to 3 grams of leucine circulating in your system to successfully activate it. And that translates to hitting an mTOR activation peak right at 25 to 30 grams of high-quality protein in a single meal. If you eat just 20 grams of protein, you just don't quite reach the threshold. You get this tiny, insignificant biological ripple, but the switch stays completely off. But hit that 30-gram mark, it skyrockets. The pathway fully activates, kickstarting intense muscle repair and, crucially, sending a massive satiety signal directly to your brain, telling it that you are genuinely fed. Now, you might be thinking eating 40 or 50 grams would spike the curve even higher, right? Actually, it doesn't. The heavy lifting, the maximum activation is entirely achieved right at that 30-gram sweet spot.
But there's a biological catch to this entire process. We call it the 3 to 5 hour window. Once you cross that crucial mTOR threshold, this heightened muscle building and repair state doesn't just last forever. It stays active for only a 3 to 5 hour window. After that, it entirely fades back to baseline. This means one meal triggers only one repair cycle. It literally doesn't matter how intensely you worked out at the gym or if you just ate a giant 20-ounce steak. After 5 hours, that specific muscle-building window slams shut.
Which brings us to a massive misconception in the fitness and nutrition world. Section 2, the protein conversion limit.
Let's talk about the absolute danger of the more is better myth and what happens when you completely overload your system in a single sitting. The core problem comes down to one vital biological process, gluconeogenesis. It's a complex word, I know, but understanding the definition is absolutely vital to your metabolic health. It's the biological process where your body takes non-carbohydrate sources, specifically your highly expensive, hard-earned excess protein, and converts it directly into glucose, which is, simply put, sugar. You see, the human body is an absolute marvel of energy storage when it comes to fat and carbohydrates. We have vast, nearly unlimited storage systems for fat. We can survive for months on our own body fat. We can even neatly store a day or two's worth of carbohydrates in our muscles and liver as glycogen. But we have absolutely zero storage system for excess protein. The pool of amino acids circulating in your bloodstream is incredibly tightly regulated. If that concentration gets too high, it actually becomes highly toxic to your system, producing dangerous levels of ammonia.
Because of that severe toxicity risk, your body enforces a remarkably strict ceiling. For the average person, 70 grams is the absolute maximum amount of protein your body can successfully utilize for tissue repair in a single meal. It's a hard biological limit. If you consume more than that, your body is forced to rapidly protect itself. It triggers gluconeogenesis and transforms every single gram of that remaining protein straight into blood sugar.
This creates a fascinating physiological dilemma. Section 3, the 2-meal sweet spot. If we want to maximize our muscle repair cycles throughout the day, but absolutely avoid a gluconeogenesis sugar spike, how often should we actually eat?
Comparing meal frequencies reveals a stark biological contrast and exposes exactly why so many popular diets just fail. If you eat 3 conventional meals a day, your muscle-building potential is actually great. Why? Because you're successfully triggering 3 distinct mTOR spikes throughout the day. But your ability to heal insulin resistance, burn fat, and fix your metabolism, incredibly poor. You're constantly grazing, which means you never give your body a meaningful fasting window to lower those baseline insulin levels. Conversely, consider eating just 1 meal a day, a protocol often called OMAD. For insulin resistance and cellular healing, this is fantastic because you're benefiting from a massive 23-hour fast. However, your muscle-building potential plummets because biologically, you only get 1 single mTOR activation cycle per day, no matter how much you eat in that one sitting. But eating exactly 2 meals a day, well, this is the ultimate biological sweet spot. You perfectly balance the equation. You get 2 distinct, powerful mTOR muscle-building spikes, paired with a solid 16 to 18-hour daily fast to drastically lower your insulin, burn stored body fat, and rest your digestive system.
Let's break down the exact math of why forcing all your food into one meal can backfire metabolically. Let's say your body requires 120 grams of protein a day, and you try to eat it all in one giant sitting. Remember that 70-gram biological ceiling we just talked about? Your body effectively uses 70 grams, hits the brakes, and then takes the remaining 50 grams of excess protein and turns it straight into sugar. It's a slow sugar release, but it's entirely enough to kick you right out of a fat-burning ketogenic state. Now simply split that exact same food into 2 60-gram meals. You completely maximize your protein absorption, you get 2 distinct muscle-building cycles, and you completely avoid the glucose spike because you stayed comfortably under the biological limit.
Now, protein is only one half of the ultimate satiety equation. We absolutely cannot ignore the role of dietary fat. When you consume natural, healthy fats, they physically slow down the emptying of your stomach, keeping you feeling full for significantly longer. But much more importantly, fat triggers a powerful hormone called CCK, or cholecystokinin. CCK tells your gallbladder to release bile to digest the fat, but it also acts as an aggressive, rapid signal to your brain, essentially screaming at you to stop eating. Unlike processed carbohydrates, which act like an addictive drug that aggressively spikes your insulin and leaves you absolutely starving an hour later, fat and protein work harmoniously and synergistically to physically and hormonally shut down your hunger.
So based on all the science we've unpacked in this explainer, here are the definitive, actionable steps for optimizing your metabolic health and preserving your muscle mass. Step 1. Calculate your protein needs. Aim for 1.2 to 2.2 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight. If you're older or actively trying to build muscle, lean toward the higher end of that scale. Step 2. Always pair your protein with natural fats. Think whole foods like eggs, beef, fatty fish, and full-fat dairy. This ensures you trigger both the mTOR pathway and the CCK satiety hormone simultaneously. And step 3, consume this food across exactly 2 meals. Start your meal with the protein and fat to immediately slow down digestion and spark those fullness signals before you even touch a carbohydrate.
I'm really curious about where you all currently stand on this. How many meals a day are you currently eating? Have you tried going down to 2? Let us know in the comments below. And if this explainer helped you finally understand your biological hunger signals, please hit that like button and make sure you subscribe to the channel. As always, a quick reminder, this is general information, so please always consult a doctor for personal medical advice before making any major changes to your health routine.
We've clearly seen today that shortening your eating window and fasting between your 2 meals is the ultimate sweet spot for healing insulin resistance. But that brings up a rather alarming question. Does fasting too long actually destroy your metabolism?